What's good, everyone? This your main correspondent, Alan Taylor, and I'm back in the broadcast room. And this is where we at now. So you clearly see the title of the broadcast. And I think this is something that's about to start happening on a much broader scale. And let me tell you why. The parenting situation in society nowadays is getting very treacherous. The communities are destroyed and things like that. And the teaching of young children to be decent human beings is completely out the window.
And that, my friends, is the bottom line.
And this is where we at here. So from what I'm gathering here, I hadn't, just went deep off in it. I'm going by the title here. So apparently this mother is getting charges for a crime that her I'm pretty sure her underage son had committed. So let's go here now. Let's check this out. Quarters, nickels, and dimes, people.
Holding a mother accountable for out of control criminal behavior by her child. It's something police have been reluctant to do, but it just happened in Utica. A rare arrest, and police did it to prove a point and get other parents to exert more authority over their children. This week, police arrested 36-year-old Nutro Muhammad. Authorities say her 11-year-old son has been involved in at least 4 felonies: robbery, fire at a Walmart, stolen cars, and more. Because of his age, police say they can't charge him criminally. So they've turned their attention to the mother. Late today, Utica Police Lieutenant Michael Curley and I talked about some of the specifics of this case, why police and prosecutors took this very rare step, and what they're hoping comes of it. What message do you hope that this sends to folks in Utica and beyond?
So this is a very unique situation, considering the age of the child, the amount of crimes that he's been in, the lack of the ability for the police and the community to really do anything about it, coupled with the fact that Raise the Age has just kind of run amok amongst the juvenile population with this case in particular, and the fact that under 12 cannot be prosecuted in any criminal facility or family court. We felt it prudent that we...
Wow, so the child is under 12, and the child is catching all these felonies. This is wild out here.
So what the French toast is there to think
What
about?
is she doing? Where's the father? Where's the family members? The grandma, somebody, uncles? I mean, Jesus, what? The child, okay, he clearly said, well, he didn't say technically, but he gave a statement saying that, basically any child under the age of 12 can't be legally charged, in this particular place with these types of crimes that this child is actually committing. This is wild right here. Let's keep going here. This is unprecedented. This is going to be some new shit that's going to go down. You people think that the laws are not going to change out here, and you are allowing these underage minors to keep doing things and stuff like that, or you're not paying attention to your children, or whatever it is going on. This is, hey, listen, look, man, this is a new age.
We had to do something in this respect.
When you arrested this mother in particular and explained why she was going to be placed under arrest, what was the reaction?
I mean, certainly she was unhappy, as dictated by our press release, and certainly I think everyone can understand that by the charge in of itself, this is not the first contact we've had with this mother. It wasn't that a simple juvenile stole a pack of gum from a local convenience store and we're charging a mother for an uncare of a juvenile. This child has been in a multitude of felonies, to include robberies, burglaries, stolen vehicles, and a fire at Walmart. So it's not as if these aren't just true public nuisance crimes as well. So this kid isn't just out stealing things, as we said. He's not throwing rocks through windows. This is a case where a juvenile has created a multitude of major safety issues, and the mom has just been unwilling to try to stem those behaviors.
And you're sure it's unwilling, not unable?
Well, I think there is a very fine line between unwilling and unable. Once you've been notified, informed, and offered services on a multitude of occasions, and you're just not taking advantage of those things, nor attempting in any facility to try to rein in your child's behavior, what are we as the public and we as the police to assist the public supposed to do? Just allow the kid to continue wantonly committing crimes, committing violent crimes, and out there at all hours of the night without supervision? I think it was incumbent upon us.
Wow. Jesus. So yeah, Basically, mom don't give a fuck. She doing her own thing. God knows what she's into. Or she may be, in some type of super intoxications. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean by that. I guarantee she ain't drinking mimosas and chilling out. Okay. So, yeah, this is, man, wow. This officer saying that this child is so neglected that this child is out at all types of late hours of the night committing felonies. Not stealing a pack of gum from us, committing felonies, violent crimes. This underage child.
Just to prove a point that these kind of behaviors will not be allowed, obviously in very certain circumstances. Each and every time we've talked to mom, she either states she doesn't know where he is, or he snuck out, or he's out doing things. And these crimes aren't just occurring at 6 p.m. They're occurring at 1 a.m., at midnight, and later in the morning hours, in which it is their due diligence and their care to make sure their child has proper supervision.
Right. Ain't no child under the age of 12 or 12 years old or 13, 14, 15 supposed to be out that early in the morning. He said 1 o'clock in the morning. This little dude, this little ninja is out here terrorizing the streets. If she don't know he not at home, man, we got to stop. We got to stop allowing people to play the victim games out here, especially a lot of these women. This is crazy right here. This chick knew her son wasn't at home. She didn't give a fuck.
And each and every time we've encountered this child and brought him home and spoke to mom, we found that there's been a lack of all care, supervision, and neglect potentially. I mean, obviously that's a charge that can be explored later down the line, but things that just cannot continue due to one, the age of the child and the serious nature of his crimes.
Is there any worry that coming down on mom could make the life of the child worse if mom is saddled with court time, fines, whatever, potential jail time, something like that, that things could end up worse for the kid?
Hold on here. How is anything going to end up worse for the child? The child already out there committing multiple felonies, violent crimes. How's it going to end up worse for? Listen, look, I'm going to tell y'all something out here, man. And I'm about to get righteous. Some of these bats, you're not going to be able to save. And if it's a whole family full of bats, we need to bring in the exterminator ASAP.
So what the French toast is there to think about?
I don't know anybody that will allow bats to congregate in their homes or in their businesses or buildings or anything like that without the exterminator come in getting rid of them. This is ridiculous here. And yes, this is a new unprecedented situation. And I think this is gonna break the doors wide open for you people out there that are sitting around here not paying attention to what your young children are doing. Definitely if they're committing crimes. If they're, if you raising decent children, they're not committing crimes. This don't apply to you. We're the victims out here of these young ninjas that are running around here, stealing our cars, doing all this type of crazy stuff at 1 o'clock in the morning, and mom is sitting up there doing whatever she doing, not paying attention to her young child. This is crazy right here. This child is stealing cars at 12, 13 years old, maybe. You know what I'm saying? And how is it?
Understood. It's a concern. However, I think in this case, it is endangering the welfare of the child. So we are arguing that mom's behavior has created a situation which either allows this child to act in this behavior or has been unable and unwilling to take care to cease this behavior. So I would argue that mom's own behavior has created the situation in this child's life that he is just free and wanton to do what he wants. And we need to stem that behavior somehow. And if this requires mom to get the services, to adhere to the services and comply with services, I think we've helped the child in the long run.
In this case, Utica police say they went for a misdemeanor charge against the mother, hoping to get her attention but not upend the family. The punishment could be probation, court-ordered services. Rarely would it be jail time.
Yeah, rarely would it be jail time. Everybody hates to send these mothers to prison. and things like that for being neglectful, for being disrespectful, not only to themselves, but to their children, to society, and everything like that. But like I said, though, this is just the beginning here. So they hit her with a misdemeanor. Okay. I get, trying to wake her up, like they said, whatever. But this is just the beginning. If they're hitting these neglectful mothers, these single parent homes with, basically mothers, and their sons are out here terrorizing the neighborhood and stuff like that, if they're starting to hit them with misdemeanors like this, it's not going to be too much longer before they really stop giving a fuck and start locking these women up.
So what the French toast is there to think about?
It's getting real out here. It's getting real out here. People are tired of all this tragedy. People are tired of these young people, feeling like they can do anything they want to do, take stuff from people that work hard for their things, all types of crazy stuff. This is wild right here. This is a wild scenario. But yeah, the misdemeanor thing, okay then. But this is the beginning. I'm telling you right now. You know what I'm saying? For everybody on the sound of my voice, the men, women, this is the beginning of the situation here where they're going to start charging parents with their children's crimes. Definitely if it's heinous enough. We're not talking about stealing a candy bar at the fucking store here. Okay? We're talking about real felonies, real victims, real crimes. We're talking about felony charges here. You know what I'm saying? That your children are gathering. This young man gathered so many felony charges, they had no choice but to try to charge her with something. And this is how dangerous this is getting, man. Y'all women out here, man, y'all need to start getting more men in the households, or screw that. Y'all need to start having babies with men that are actually competent men that actually want to raise children and stuff like that, and get out all this dumbass thought process that y'all in out here. Y'all, it's time out for this. The babies are suffering. They're out here committing crimes. Y'all are suffering, you know what I'm saying? Because you basically depressed, you know what I'm saying, not giving a fuck about your children. And men, listen, look, man, I don't know who impregnating these type of broads out here, but this is ridiculous.
What the French toast is there to think about?
This is ridiculous. What the fuck are y'all men doing, bro? I mean, Jesus Christ, this makes no sense. And then this woman then raised the little ninja that's out here committing felonies at 12 years old. Woo-wee. But it is what it is, though. Shout out to all my subscribers. Mad love to y'all. If you're new to the channel, please hit that like, share, subscribe button. Make sure you ring that bell to be notified whenever I decide to post things. And like I always say,
And that, my friends, is the bottom line.
that, my friends, is the bottom line. I'm telling y'all now, this is just the beginning. Once the system get hold to this situation, and they're going to convict her of that misdemeanor. They're going to put that on the books. Once this shit gets on the books of the legal system, period, that's going to open the door for a lot of other states and counties and all this type of stuff to actually start charging parents with their children's crimes. Y'all better wake the fuck up out here. And that's for real, though.